Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first lesson on Practical Research 1. Research. I know. You sometimes do not want to talk about research. You may immediately think about how stressful it is, what a hassle it would be, but hey, let's try to talk about how amazing it is. Let me get you started with innovation and experimentation, which may lead to discovery. And by this, I mean discovering new treatments, finding answers to the things that are unknown. In research, we will fill the gaps in knowledge and improve the way of living. Even your clothes and your favorite food, they are all products of research. See? Research isn't so bad after all. It plays an important role in our society and in our life today. To get us started, we will be looking into what research is and what a research process looks like. Research is scientific, and when we talk about science, we follow certain processes. And research is simply just like that. We follow a certain research process in order for us to create an effective research study. And these are the different research processes. Let us start by selecting a general problem. A research problem is a statement about an area of concern, a condition to be improved, a difficulty to be eliminated, or a troubling question that exists in scholarly literature, in theory, or in practice that points to the need for meaningful understanding and deliberate investigation. And that is the first process in conducting a research study. You select a general problem. You look for a general problem. The next research process is known as the review or of the literature of the problem. Why do we have to do a review of the literature of the problem? The purpose of a literature review is to gain an understanding of the existing research and debates relevant to a particular topic or area of study. And of course, this is to present that knowledge in a form of a written report. Conducting a literature review helps you build your knowledge in your chosen field and in your chosen problem or topic. That is, reviewing the literature of the problem. You now have your general problem. You were able to review the literature of the problem or the literature of the nature of the problem. This time, you will now be selecting a specific research problem, question, or hypothesis. Now, what is the difference between a general problem and a specific research problem? When stating a general term, you have to present a broad topic, while a specific problem consists of a specific and a defined subject. Let me give you a very simple example. This is an example for a general problem: improper waste disposal. It's general. This is an example for a specific research problem: improper waste disposal of plastics in Metro City. That is more specific and that is a more defined subject. So you are now ready to collect your data. What is data collection and how do we do that? Data collection is defined as the procedure of collecting, measuring, and analyzing accurate insights for research using standard validated techniques. Essentially, there are a lot of choices for data collection, so you don't have to worry about that. Here are our top 6 data collection methods. Number 1, we can do an interview. Number 2, this is very common. We can conduct questionnaires and surveys. Number 3, observations. Number 4, you can look into documents and records. Number 5, you can conduct focus group discussions. And number 6, you can even look at the past by looking into oral histories. And that is how you collect your data. After collecting your data, you will now be doing analyzing, presenting, and displaying your data. Always remember, my dearest students, presentation requires skills and understanding of the data. It is necessary to make use of your collected data. Data analysis helps in the interpretation of data and helps take a decision or answer the research questions. This can be done by using various data processing tools. And after analyzing, presenting, and displaying your data, you will now have your results. So there you have it. You're feeling good, although there is still work to do. The end of your research study is already in sight. There is just one thing left to do, the discussion chapter. And that is interpreting the findings, stating conclusions, and generalizing the problem. Interpreting your findings is about seeing whether what you found confirms or does not confirm the findings of previous studies in your literature review. For qualitative studies, I want you to remember this one. You have to organize this section around your themes. For each question or theme, you have to go back to your literature review and look at the major findings of your previous studies. You relate now your findings to the findings of those previous studies and indicate where your findings are aligned and where they did not align. And so there you have it. That is the different research processes. It's quite simple, isn't it? And now, in order for you to have a more concrete and visual representation of the different research process, you have here a cyclical graph. So you have here the steps in the research process. First, you have to establish the research problem and its hypothesis. After doing so, you will now be formulating your research design and methodology. For qualitative research, we have 5 methods and 5 designs. We have ethnography, narrative, phenomenological, grounded theory, and even case study. After formulating your research design, you will now be ready in collecting your data. So you can do your interviews, you can now do questionnaires, you can now conduct questionnaires and surveys, do observations, look at into documents and records. You can do focus group discussions and even look at oral histories. After collecting the data, you will now be analyzing and interpreting the data, which will then lead you to your results. And after having your results, you will now be drawing conclusions and recommendations. And those are the different steps in the research process. Isn't it simple? Remember, my dearest students, according to Albert Einstein, researchers are professionally curious change agents, and you are an agent of change. The important thing is not to stop questioning, because curiosity has its own reason for existing. I hope that you learned a lot from our lesson today, and may you continue to become passionately curious, my dear future researchers. Until next time, goodbye, everyone.
Thank you for watching Asian Steps. For more exclusive videos, don't forget